I'm not trying to widen the generational divide, but what is it with people over 60 who cannot stand when you're wearing headphones?
It's because boomers are currently being recorded to have the most narcissistic traits over any of the other generations. And what are two huge traits of narcissism? One is entitlement, and the other is being way more hypersensitive. So they tend to highly react to any sort of critique or criticism or many things. But the bottom line is that when you put on those headphones, you limit boomers' access to you. You prevent them from just being able to randomly approach you or encroach on your personal space without your permission, right? When someone talks to you when you have headphones on, you have to take them off and go, what? And engage in the conversation and kind of accept it. And what's one big thing that people who are narcissists or have narcissistic traits struggle with? Consent. They don't like that now you have to consent to interacting with them. They like to just be entitled to your space. And I've made a video before talking in depth about all of the studies and why I think this is. And I definitely do think it correlates with this trend of people who are starting to go completely no contact with their toxic family and relatives. And there are a lot of interesting points when it comes to being in the workplace with this whole headphone debate. Because what do most companies and toxic corporations love more than anything? Total control and access to all of their employees at any point. And despite the fact that there's actually studies shown that listening to podcasts and music or whatever Netflix on the side kind of helps productivity. I remember at one point at my old job, which was ironically working in mental health care, so they should know these things, they blocked access to a lot of these sites. Which was no surprise because our CEO had a lot of narcissistic tendencies as well, but that was kind of my last straw at that company. And a lot of people will argue oh, it cuts off spontaneous creativity and conversations flowing. But it really doesn't. Just tap someone on the shoulder or wave a hand. It's not like when we're at work in the office, we're gonna shun you. But I think the bottom line is that older generations just see headphones as a sign of disrespect. When you really dig down to the bottom of what that disrespect is, it's just their frustration and their lack of total access and unregulated control over you, even down to what you're hearing. And I've personally always been an earbud girly because I don't love the weight of headphones on my head a lot. But after hearing there was a new way I could slightly irritate narcissistic boomers, I ran to that Apple web. Turns out they're almost $600.
For that and very many other reasons, I did not end up getting the headphones, but I made that video a year ago, and I think it very much so still holds up. But given all the news of everything that's been going on recently, I thought I would give you guys a message just to remind you all, so feel free to read that.
Also, to be clear, when you have narcissistic tendencies and traits, that does not make you necessarily a narcissist. Two very different things. That does not make all boomers narcissists, okay?